Hey guys, Get Level here, and today we're going to be unboxing and reviewing the Maonocaster podcast bundle. So what you're seeing here is the Maonocaster Solo bundle. It comes with a microphone, an interface, and a pair of headphones. First thing that I gotta say is the packaging is amazing. I really like the colors that they chose, the texture, the packaging, everything feels so premium. When I first opened it, the first thing that I saw was a letter from the CEO explaining all the goals and everything that they tried to achieve with the Maonocaster. If you don't know, it's a successful Kickstarter project, and I was sent an early review copy. So the box will include the microphone, the headset, the interface, and then all the cables that go with it, including a lot of jack cables. Those are TRRS cables in order to plug in your phone to the actual interface to use it as background music, external soundboard, external recorder, or to have people call in to your podcast. There are so many possibilities. You also get your XLR cable for the microphone, you get your spring cable for the headset, 2 mini jack-to-jack adapters, and the USB-C cable to not only plug the interface to your computer, but also charge it. That's right, you can actually charge the Maonocaster and travel with it. All you need is an external recorder and you can get your podcast on the road. Now there are so many options that come with this interface that it's kind of hard to go through all of it or demonstrate all of it. But let's start by talking about the input and output options. At the front, there are 2 monitor ports. That means that if you want, you can plug in 2 headsets for 2 people to listen to what's going on. In the back, you can plug in 2 microphones, 2 XLR microphones, or if you have any other gear that uses XLR, you can also plug that in, like an instrument, for example. You then have a second mic input attached to that second XLR. You have an auxiliary input, you have the phone input, and those also have their own knobs, so you can control the volume straight on the interface. And then you have 2 additional outputs. Then, of course, if you want to plug in a speaker, you have the option to do that too. Something else that you'll notice at the back of the interface is that noise reduction button that you can actually switch on. To be completely honest, right now, my windows are open. There are cars passing by. I have a very loud fan on, and I don't even have the noise reduction on right now. I'm gonna switch it on so you can hear, but you probably won't hear a difference really because it's already doing such a good job. The quality might be a little muffled now because it's trying so hard to reduce the noise, but there wasn't much noise being picked up in the first place. Let me switch it back. I really like the fact that they used a switch because, as you can see, I don't need to look behind the interface. I can just feel it and I know exactly where it is. In order to power it on, you need to press and hold the button for a couple of seconds and it will power on. You have your 48 volts phantom power for your XLR microphones. If your mic does not require that, for example, if you're using something like a dynamic mic that does not require 48 volts, you can just press it and turn it off. Cool option here is that you can also mute your mic. I'm going to show you what it looks like. And unmute yourself pretty easily. There's an LED indicator in pretty much every single button, although I understand it might not be that visible since I have a very bright light shining down on it. Alright, so we have our mic gains, 48 volts, mute, and then the sliders. The sliders actually feel very, very tight, which is something that I like. I don't like when it's too loose because it easily feels like a toy when the sliders are too loose. This is very, very tight, so you really feel like you're doing your movement with a purpose. Same thing with the mix. It really feels great. Plus, there are certain points where there is a little stop. You can feel it stop, for example, at the middle. Kind of like a, I don't know how to call that. That's it. I'm going to call it a checkpoint, if you will. Okay, so here you have your monitor for your headset. So if I want to hear myself louder or anything, I can turn that up or down. The pitch is something that is very interesting because it's a constant pitch on my voice. So if I turn that down, I'm going to start sounding
lower and lower and lower and lower. And that is something that is constant.
Then I can just put it in the middle. And again, we can feel that little stop so you can know exactly where the middle point is. And I can go
higher and higher and higher and higher.
This interface features a lot of effects and voice effects and stuff like that. So it's cool that on top of all of that, you also have a pitch. This is quite particular. So if in the middle of your podcast, you want to go crazy and do something like,
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
love it. That's really cool. Okay, so let's move on to this part where you actually have a touch button. So the touch buttons are the electron and the mode. Electron, believe it or not, is an auto tune. So if I press it, you can choose the key. Hello, I have auto tune right now. I have auto tune. Anyways, and then you go back to mode, and that's basically a reverb mode. If you want to add more reverb, you can go, hey, that's reverb, that's church-like reverb, hall reverb, valley reverb, room reverb, and studio reverb. A cool thing here is that on effect, you also have an effect knob that actually gives you 3 points of different effects for each vocal effect. So if I go in the middle here, test, 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 test. So you have different variables. You have different variables for each type of effect. This is another one. This is another one. Okay. And then you have the other voice effects that are here that you can just activate and deactivate as you wish. For example, there's the female one,
Where I can talk like that and it supposedly gives me a female voice.
there is the male voice.
Where I just sound way lower.
I think that could be cool if you want to censor the people talking and you don't want them to be recognized. Music only is something that I believe would work with if you have an input. If you're using your phone, for example, to play background music, and there's like vocals, I believe if you press this, it will get rid of the vocals and leave the instrumental only.
Baby sounds like this, no surprise.
Robot sounds like straight up a demon.
And then sidechain is another effect that has to do with music. Basically, when you talk, the music will lower. And then when you stop talking, the music will go back up, kind of like a radio effect. And then down here, what we have is, we probably guessed it, those are samplers, and they come preloaded with a bunch of sound effects, such as this one. I believe this one is very common. Another very, very common one. This one is quite important. Pretty nice. And then here, you actually have 3 buttons that are customizable. So you decide what to put in here, okay? Unfortunately, it's only the 3 buttons that are customizable. The rest, you have to stick with them, but at least you get that option. And the last one is actually a mute button. Not a mute button, it's a censor button. So if I'm speaking like that and I go, I can censor myself, which is pretty cool. So since this is able to be used without a computer in a certain way, depending on the outputs and the inputs that you're using, you can really just move with it. You don't have to be at a computer, and you can use other external devices to play music. For example, you can have one phone plugged in, playing music in the background. You can have a second phone plugged in where you have someone being interviewed. For example, someone called in through Skype, Discord, or whatever through the phone, and you can record your podcast like that. Obviously, any other type of audio gear that you have that's able to play or record audio will be compatible with this. Obviously, the whole goal with the Maonocaster, especially this bundle, is to keep the price as low as possible. This specific bundle is set to be sold for less than $200, which is something that you would never see anywhere else. Like, I've never seen anything of that quality with that many options be sold for so little, really. Especially the microphone. Cool thing is XLR microphones. If you already have an XLR microphone, or if you want to upgrade your microphone, I happen to have a secondary XLR microphone, so I might be able to, I can launch a podcast with 2 people if I wanted to. So the possibilities are really endless, and the fact that you can upgrade easily makes it really impressive. Really impressive. Now, in the letter that the CEO wrote, there's a couple of pointers where they explain that the goal is really to keep the price as low as possible while delivering a product that is versatile as possible. So they go through a list of things that are not included in order to cut the cost. And one of those things is stereo output, basically being able to output the left channel and the right channel separately. So that is not an option. Being able to customize all the pads is not an option, but you still get 3 pads that you can customize. Multi-track digital recording is not an option, so you cannot separate tracks, unfortunately. I know that most of my audience is live streamers, and that is something that is kind of needed. I know that products like the Elgato Wave or the Go XLR have their success because that is a feature that you guys really need. Unfortunately, the Maonocaster does not feature that option. Obviously, it can still be used as a broadcasting system, but of course, we need to keep in mind that it's mostly made to be autonomous as a podcast machine, a podcast bundle. That little mic stand and the fact that it comes with a shock mount really emphasize that on-the-go feeling that this pack has. Personally, I actually really enjoy this, especially when it comes to the quality, and the noise reducer is something that I like. If you guys have been watching my channel for a while now, you know that I'm a big fan of built-in effects. I'm using a Behringer mixer, for example, for my streams right now and also my YouTube channel. And it has a built-in equalizer and a built-in compressor. And that's the whole reason why I went with it. But having an interface that has a built-in noise reducer is kind of amazing. When it comes to the microphone, I feel like it's maybe not as great as the previous. I think it's the A1. I don't remember, but I already reviewed a microphone from Maono on this channel before, and it was amazing. I feel like this one might not be the exact same type. It's not the same mic, but I feel like it's maybe not as good. But again, if we're cutting down on price, that might be what's happening, but I'm really not sure. I will have to really take the time and maybe compare them. That being said, if you are recording your podcast and you're doing post-production, that means you're cutting it down and you're adding a little bit of effects and stuff like that, equalizing. I believe that a little compressor and an EQ will make it sound as good as any other professional podcast out there. Same thing for live streaming. If you slap a couple of VSTs on this, I believe it has the potential to sound amazing. That being said, the sound straight out of the box is already pretty great, especially that noise. It's crazy for me. I'm listening to myself, and it's crazy for me that it's not picking up my loud fan in the background right now and all the cars passing by with my open windows. So, in conclusion, I feel like obviously, if you're going to launch a podcast and you haven't bought anything yet, this might be the best option to have as professional as possible gear for your podcast. Something that is portable. That means that if you have to go and interview someone, or if you're going to travel, you can still record your podcast, no problem whatsoever. And you don't even need a computer. So I feel like this is, I don't know any products that will give you that much for that price. I don't even know any other bundle that will give you that much, period. If you're a live streamer and you would like to make the jump from USB mics to XLR mics, but you don't want the hassle of buying a mixer or an interface that doesn't do much, I think this is also a good option. For about $200, you get the mic, you also get the headset, really important, and you get the interface with all the effects. There are obviously a ton of pros, and the only cons that I will say is there's a slight delay on the pads. When you press them, it doesn't feel instantaneous for the sound effects, but I will have to customize my own to really test that out. The beep, there's definitely a little delay, so that's unfortunate. I really like the reverb option. Because, you know, when people come to your stream, for example, you want to get hype and stuff like that, you can go like, hey, welcome to my stream. Hey, so happy to see you. Let's go. Whatever. I think it's really cool that you can just press it. You know, I know that some people use a lot of software solutions. For example, you're using a Stream Deck and stuff like. So many times you go to people's stream and you see them fumble with their Stream Deck before they can find the thing that they're trying to do, and it's very awkward. It sucks out all the comedy out of it. The only thing that I feel like this is really missing for it to be kind of perfect for me, at least, is just 3 additional knobs that control EQ for the mics. So if I had low, mid, treble, I feel like this would be really, really complete. I wouldn't need a computer at all. You would be able to not even edit your podcast. Just record them and then post them straight from your phone and you're good. But that being said, I would love to know what are your thoughts on this bundle, guys? What do you think about it? If you have any questions, any specific things that you would like to know if it does or if it doesn't do, please let me know in the comment section below. I'm gonna keep it for now. I'm really enjoying using it, so I'll definitely be keeping it. Again,
Damn, son, where'd you find?
I can't stop doing that. I can't stop pressing those little things, and thank you so much. Thank you so much. Anyways, there will definitely be links in the description to go check out Maono and the Maonocaster. And if there's any update, I will let you know in the pinned comment, or just follow me on social media, which should show up on your screen at some point. If you're looking for some dope overlays to make your Twitch channel look good, go to gumroad.com/getlevel. Most of them are free. And that being said, that was it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, please leave a like, subscribe, ring the bell, and all of that. Go out there, make me proud. Guy level
Out.